Hello and welcome to another Popper video. We're playing Familiars again. This is because I really want to make this deck too busted. I'm trying to do something weird and different today. Sort of weird and different. You might have noticed that a lot of times we play Seagate Oracle or the Modern Age, but I have 0 of those here. No Seagate Oracles, no Modern Ages. Instead I'm playing just straight up 8 cantrips and 2 Murmuring Mystic. So the idea here is that I'm going to spew out a bunch of 1-drop spells, turning on my God Pharaoh's Faithful and my Murmuring Mystic to use those to close the game. Plus, over in the last column, the Mole Drifter and the Lorien Revealed are both 5-drops that are hugely powerful draw spells. So we're going to try to use those to close out the game. So we're going to early game cantrip, and then later we're just going to use our hyper powerful draw spells to overwhelm our opponents. We are not playing Deep Analysis, so we have to be cognizant of counterspells, and we're not playing Seagate Oracle Modern Age, so we have to make sure we navigate the blockers correctly. I feel like this could be a very powerful way to play the game, so I'm going to try it out. We also have 4 counterspells in the main deck. I wanted to play 4 straight up counterspell, but I think that Loose Focus is going to be a little bit more valuable in the times that we can cast it for 1 mana and actually counter spell. So I'm going to keep that as Loose Focus here. In the sideboard, I'm going to go 3 Dust to Dust and 2 Nature's Chant. I got creamed in the Popper qualifier by Boggles, and I felt like I wanted another Nature's Chant. Plus, it gives us a little bit more fast interaction against glitters, especially the blue-white versions of glitters. I'm going to be playing 4 Hydroblast. That's stock at this point. 2 Prohibit, because we can change Loose Focus for Prohibit in matchups where Prohibit is quite good. 1 Negate as an additional counterspell, and 1 Exclude as an additional counterspell. This is because Exclude is very good against initiative decks like Gardens or control decks that want to be casting big 4 and 5 drops. And I think that will help us to outvalue our opponent in those matchups, since we're not playing Deep Analysis. So that is the deck. If you like to check out sideboard guides, or if you have any questions, don't forget to sign up for the Patreon, which is patreon.com/kalikaiz. Even these experimental decks, if you're on the Patreon Discord section, I will totally give you some sideboard advice for those. I'm tending to build a sideboard once a month for all these different decks based on what I think is the most appropriate for the metagame at that time. So that's always a live document. Next, don't forget to like and subscribe. That really helps me grow. I really appreciate that. It's awesome to see all the support from folks. And finally, check out Pondering Popper, which will be linked in the description below, as well as a link to the Familiars Discord if you want to hop in and just get some overall insight into the deck. All right, let's go ahead and get into the matches. We're here in round 1 versus that one bloke. Oi, good luck, bloke. Can't keep this hand because we don't have a starting mana. If this were an island, we could have kept it. And again, mulligan. We have lands, so we can keep and put back Familiar Archaeomancer. Play the land. Okay, they're on a black deck. They land and I'll pass the turn. We found our 3rd land, so I can cycle for the plains on their end step. They cycle a generous end. That probably means that they're on Dredge. So we can cycle for the plains and then turn to the Familiar, but we have to draw into things to get cards. They play a Exhume. Okay, so we're on a 4-turn clock here. I think we still want to grab the plains and play the Familiar versus the Faithful. Play the Fam. The next turn we can Broker's Hideout plus Faithful. That will put me to 16. And then it's not a 4-turn clock anymore. They're going to get in for 5. We're at 15. Lanchwood Prowler, the card that I could never pronounce. Did not find a land, plays a swamp. They can't bring back the Scrapwork Plot right now. And we find a Ponder, so we can God Pharaoh's Faithful into Ponder. And then Broker's Hideout if I only want one of the cards, or just Island if I want more than one. It looks like I don't want any of them. I could take the Snap. Let's take the Snap. Play the Broker's Hideout. I think holding on to the Loose Focus here versus going Snap and hold Loose Focus and just draw Loose Focus. I feel like this gives me the better option, better ability to draw a card that's actually going to let me do some things. And we're looking for our top end now. We're looking for a Mole Drifter, or we're looking for a Lorien Revealed, but any cantrips to get us there would also be nice. We're going to block 2 of it. Take 5. They are going to Acorn Harvest. So they're going wide. Play my tap land and pass the turn. I don't want to give them the red mana by snapping their generous end right now. I'm going to wait 1 more turn before I do that. Okay, they're going to just attack here, it looks like. So we will take 6. They have no treasures right now. Plays a Satyr Wayfinder. I'm saving my Loose Focus for something else later. They find Lotleth Giant, Scrapwork Mutt. Nothing. Lame. Our 1 Ponder. We did mulligan to 5 with no card draw in hand. Ponder saw us nothing to chain with, or Ponder saw nothing to chain with for us. All right. So they're going to get in. We'll snap the generous end. So we go to 7. Then we're going to block 2 of the damage and go to 5. I'll untap my island. It pretty much comes down to the next draw. I really need to just start chaining, but I was really trying to build this deck that would never mulligan, and here we are. Cycle's the end. So they're going to grab the wooded red line is gone. So can they get a red land here? I don't think they can. They just get a forest. Okay. 7 creature cards in the graveyard. They could cast an Acorn Harvest. They're going aggro. I'm going to go Dominator Cleric, gain 2 life. Pass the turn. I could have exiled the Lotleth Giant, but I feel like I'm going to need to block here for a minute. And I forgot to play my land like a dummy. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me. I'm literally doing nothing here. Just blocking and sitting on the table with my 1 counter spell and 1 land. We go to 4. They have 5. We're dead to Dread Return, Flashback, Dread Return. Just like 100%. They're paying costs, which is strange. Okay, I'll just concede. So negate, I think, is good. Exclude is pretty decent. I'm gonna bring in the prohibits. The Murmuring Mystic's not really needed whatsoever because we don't need to win the game that way. And then, so we have a bunch of counters. And Ponder whiff into Flood. That was really terrible. Okay, we're on the play. Hopefully we get a hand that has lands. This one has lands. This one seems much, much better. We can go land, turn 2, cycle land Chancery, turn 3, play the Familiar, and we have Lorien Revealed that we can cast off the snap. So we can snap a creature, then Lorien Revealed. They play a Forest and pass the turn. We draw another snap, can pick up the Ash Barrens. I floated the mana ahead of time, so I can now cycle it for an island, and I'll pass the turn. Our opponent cycles for the Troll for an Exhume, most likely. Not for an Exhume. They cycle it for a Swamp because they want to Exhume. So we can go Exhume, which would have the answer for Familiar. This one's going a lot better. Snap this thing, play the Archaeomancer, and grab back the snap. You have any Fairy Macabres? No. Okay. So if we don't draw a land, I'll start with the Ponder and see if that'll get it for us. If it doesn't, then we can shuffle and then snap the Mancer and play the Lorien Revealed. They play a Satyr Wayfinder, finding Dread Return, Prowler, Geothermal Bog, and Mire Triton. So they'll probably take the Geothermal Bog. They choose that. Find a Muldrifter. I can just snap your creature, jam a Muldrifter, find on a land. There we go. Let's Ponder. Trying to set up for more big stuff. We have a Familiar on top. I can use the Loose Focus right now. So I can put the Prohibit on the bottom and draw the Familiar right now. I'm drawing Familiar into Chancery. So this next turn I can go Familiar, Chancery, snap and replay the Muldrifter, and then hold up mana. I can go snap, replay, snap, and then evoke snap, then replay it, and have lots and lots of stuff going on. They Coffin Purge my snap. They're going to cast a 2-drop, which we're just going to counter, because keeping their creatures off the table allows us to not have to worry about a Flashback Dread Return. Can't pay. They play a Bog. We'll play a Familiar. Get in for 3 first because I want to push the damage. I guess like maybe it would be worth it to have a Mystic just so I could close the game at some point. They want to try to deck me. Play the Chancery, pick up this, snap the Muldrifter, and then we'll float some mana, evoke the Drifty. That resolves. We can draw. We're going to draw the card we knew about, the Prohibit, snap the Muldrifter. Now, I think this might be enough to just cast 2 Muldrifters holding up Prohibit, that seems pretty good. So our plan is working. We have cantrips into big spells. Cast this thing. I'm going to draw 2 cards. Play another Muldrifter. Then I'm going to hold up in the Prohibit. Countering another Dredger or something. Not Dredger, but another creature that puts stuff in their graveyard. I don't care about the Coffin Purge on the snap. 5 mana for the opponent. They Coffin Purge again. Okay, how many snaps have they gotten rid of? Fine, I'll counter this one. So we're only going to have 1 snap left in the deck after this. Probably going to purge the snap. I guess then they can win with by having 5/7 blockers. But I can also just make infinite life and wait for them to deck out. Play Scrapwork Mutt, so they're going to discard something. Discards a Stinkweed Imp. So now they're going to Dredge. So their engine is online now. They Dredge, Troll, Mire Triton, Troll, Corn Harvest, something like that. We find another Prohibit. Play the Faithful, cast a Lorien Revealed, drew a bunch of cards. So let's preordain, try to clear some lands. Then I probably won't want to shuffle the Ash Barrens. Mortar and Mire could be okay here, because we can attack into the Stinkweed Imp and then Mire back the Muldrifter and then recast it. Attacking, putting it to 14, plus just having the Faithfuls to get out of range is quite good. One interesting thing is Stinkweed Imp doesn't have Death Touch, it has a trigger, so if we attack and deal damage and then flicker, then it won't kill my Muldrifter. Okay, they're playing. Are they going to cast a 5/7? Cast a Troll. Let's Faithful and Lorien Revealed again. Draw some more cards. Find an Ephemerate. Anything I want to get back with the Ephemerate right now? I could cycle. Let's just attack. So I am going to cycle for play the Plains. Just Ephemerate right now for the Prohibit and say go. We'll discard. I think it's going to be another Faithful here. Maybe just the island is fine. I think I may want to play the Mortuary Mire soon, and we have extra islands. All right, they get in for 6. Next turn I can Faithful, Faithful and Familiar, and then Prohibit Kicked will only cost 1 mana. So they're going to cast the Stinkweed Imp, and I do have the ability to just flicker my Muldrifter so that it doesn't die to the Stinkweed Imp trigger. But it will. I probably just want to flicker it so it doesn't even put the Stinkweed Imp into the graveyard. So they can try to Coffin Purge my Ephemerate, but I have double Prohibit now. So Ephemerate, get back Ephemerate. They don't do anything. It's interesting. So Faithful, play another Familiar. I will draw 3 cards. That feels pretty good. We can't do anything about it. We gain 3 life, draw 3 cards. Guess I'm looking for my snap. I did not find it. I'm playing Island, just Faithful, and then I guess attack. So if I keep attacking like this and they keep blocking with the Stinkweed Imp, then that is going to eventually mill them out. So maybe that's what I want to do. Muldrifter is dead. We have 4 Faithfuls on the table. Okay, they do dredge it. They find a dread return, so want to keep their creatures off the table. They attack for 6. We're going to go to 15. They have actually 2 Dread Returns in the graveyard. Plays the Stinkweed Imp again. I'm not going to counter that because I was afraid of the Dread Return. Let's cycle this for an island right now. Grab the island and play... Oh, we find that? Good to do. Let's play a Muldrifter. See what we draw. Probably should have just put the Mortuary Mire on the table to get back to Muldrifter. Opponent is, they're just taking their time. Looking for a snap. Didn't find a snap. Let's just Ephemerate and get back Preordain. I'm going to try to just Preordain my way into the last snap so that I can clear their board. So it does feel really good that every single spell we cast is giving us +4 life, putting us very far out of range. Another Ephemerate. Bottom. Pop this one. Let's attack with the Muldrifter. Stinkweed Imp is going to block. I don't remember if I actually yielded to that or not. All right. Now we can Ephemerate the Muldrifter. Got even more cards. Let's Ponder, looking for a snap still. Or the Flicker. We can now snap this with impunity. Do some untapping. Play my island. I can just Archaeomancer to get the snap back. They have the Coffin Purge, and I'll counter. Okay, it's targeting the snap now. What are you going to do? You do have the 1 Coffin Purge, right? They're going to Coffin Purge. We cast Prohibit. They cycle the Troll. I don't know why. So our snap comes back, and we can pass the turn. So they're going to return Stinkweed Imp to their hand, and they're dredging again. They're going to Exhume. Okay, sure. I will return my Muldrifter. I mean, they get to get their... Wait, do they even have a Lotless Giant? They don't have a Lotless Giant in the graveyard. I don't care about that. I'll take my Muldrifter. They're going to use the Satyr Wayfinder to mill some more, and they put Prowler, Satyr Wayfinder, Flaring Pain, and Exhume. They don't get to get anything. They brought in Flaring Pain just in case I had Strands. That's fair. They're trying to get another creature onto the table. That's what you like. You love to see it. All right. I feel fine with what we had. Maybe Exclude is not that good, but do I want the Mystic? I don't think I'd even need the Mystic. It doesn't do anything in this matchup. We don't need it to block. We can just counterlock them. Okay, so on the draw, we have Ponder. We can use Lorien Revealed to shuffle, and that gets us our white source. We're looking for Faithfuls, or cantrips, or counterspells, or familiars. So lots of stuff to see. The best draw would probably just be a Chancery. As always, they play a forest. All right, let's Ponder, see what's on top. Okay, Cleric, Lorien Revealed, Prohibit. I think I'll put the Cleric down. I'll take these 2 cards, though. Then I can hold out the Prohibit, and just Prohibit stopping them from having creatures is good. If they Exhume here, that's fine. We can snap and then hold the Prohibit again. Lynchwood Prowler. Mills Drown in Sorrow, Scrapark Mutt, Dread Return. So I'm going to go ahead and snap this and pass the turn. Hopefully they just don't have more lands, but either way, we're going to counter their Prowler. And what was underneath this? I don't remember. Oh, Preordain. Let's counter this. Plays a Haunted Mire. We're going to cycle. Oh, Dawnbringer Cleric. Cycle for... Then I'm going to Preordain because if I do find the Chancery, I want that in play more. These are fine. Put the Glacial Floodplain onto the table. Okay, they cannot cast too much right now. Can just Cleric away their Dread Return. If they have Dread Return in hand, they could Dread Return the Troll. And then I have to go Archaeomancer for snap. They're Dread Returning the Prowler. Finding a Lotless Giant. And they're going to pick up one of these cards. They choose Swamp, leaving the forest in the graveyard. And we can just Cleric away the Lotless Giant. Exile that Giant. That's 1 down. They play a Swamp. 5 mana available. 4 cards in hand. And 9 minutes on clock. There's a Scrapwork Mutt. Alright, I guess I'm fine with that. I really just want to get this Muldrifter onto the table. They discarded the Forest. Or a forest. I already played that Swamp. So, unfortunate part of having only Lorien Revealed as my top end is that sometimes you have to cycle it for lands, and then you don't get to keep it as your top end. I'm going to cast this Muldrifter to draw a bunch of cards, and then I'll next turn look to try to get a familiar in play if I can. Faithful is pretty good. I'm going to not attack, so I have blocks. They play the Wooded Ridgeline. That way they can, use the Scrapwork Mutt's ability later. Acorn Harvest. So they're going to use the Dread Return now, it looks like. So I think I play the Faithful, and the Chancery. And nothing else because I want to kick the Prohibit to counter the Dread Return. No attacks. And also, their Scrapwork Mud is stranded on the table because I don't have to kill it. I can just block it with the Faithful. They can use it to cast a Dread Return. They cycle a Generous Ent. We could have just cast it there. Gets and plays a Forest. Maybe they have a Lawless Giant in hand. Dread Return on the Troll. Let's cast Counter so they have to sacrifice some of their creatures. I'm a little nervous that they actually have a Coffin Purge in hand, and my Archaeomancer won't be able to actually grab the snap from the graveyard. Looks like they're going to cast Acorn Harvest and then Dread Return maybe again. Dread Returning the Troll. And then I can just Archaeomancer and snap the Troll. There's the Dread Return on the Troll. So the Scrapwork Mutt's in their graveyard now, and now they can use it to discard something from their hand. Let's see if we have exactly 6 mana. So Archaeomancer, grab the snap. Okay, snap in hand. I'm going to cast the snap on the Troll, tap my lands, and I'll go ahead and preordain here. I'm still looking for a familiar. Ephemerate would be fine. Don't think I need the Faithful at this point. They're pretty low on resources. At the bottom, the Faithful. Find a loose focus. 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess I just want to play the Floodplain and attack for 2. This way, if they hard cast the Troll, I can just counter it. Maybe that's not worth it. I was trying not to use the Broker's Hideout because it will probably cause me issues after shuffling my library and putting a bunch of lands closer to the top or just shuffled around. But I think I'm going to have to Broker's Hideout next turn. And if we do that, we'll Broker's Hideout before we cast Preordain. So the Scrapwork Mud is discarding a Stinkweed Imp and they dredge. Dredging another Stinkweed Imp. So they're going to have Stinkies for days. We're going to cast more Acorn Harvests. Yes, okay. So we have 2 Muldrifters or 3 Muldrifters and 2 Lorien Reveals left in the deck. That would be our 5-drops that are going to get us a bunch of value. Dread Return on the Generous Ent. Can't do anything about that at the moment. They just want to stem the beats from my 1 Muldrifter, I guess. I care about that? I don't think so. Next turn, it looks like they're going to hard cast a Troll, and I can counter it with a Loose Focus. Find an Ephemerate. Broker's Hideout. I'm going to grab an island, cast a Preordain, then I'll probably just Ephemerate the Muldrifter. Find a Faithful and a Familiar. I still don't think I need the Faithful. Play the Sunscape Familiar, and just Ephemerate this Muldrifter right now, see what kind of cards I can draw. We have Loose Focus Replicate available, and I basically drew nothing. 2 Chanceries, not great. They are going to mill a Troll, Lawless Giant, Troll, Scrapwork Mutt, and Stinkweed Imp. 9 creatures cards in the graveyard, so at this point having more life is useful. You can only tax them for 6 on the Dread Return. They're going to get in for 6 damage. And they're going to bring back their Lotleth Giant. Okay, they're going to cast the Troll here. Let's just counter it. Or that was a Lotleth Giant, not a Troll. But they can bring a Giant back this turn. And we'll probably have to Ephemerate to get back the Prohibit to counter the next Lotleth Giant. They only have 1 Dread Return in the graveyard. They didn't do anything. They didn't cast Dread Return when I was tapped out, which is kind of odd. My Ephemerate, I think they might be pressured on time. I'll Ephemerate here and get back to Prohibit. I'll cycle, grabbing it. 1 more land. That might be all my lands. Okay, with 3 lands left. Play the Chancery. Just going to pick up my land and attack you with the Muldrifter. Okay, they mill some more cards. They're at 11 creature cards in the graveyard. They have Stinkweed Imp in hand. They can discard the Stinkweed Imp with the Scrapwork Mutt, getting more cards into the graveyard. So I might need to block the Generous Ent now. Find the 2 double Coffin Purge. I'll be really sad if they end up, it's in for 6. They have 12 creature cards in the graveyard. Okay, they have 1 Dread Return in the graveyard. Right now I'm at 15. So if I Ephemerate the Archaeomancer, they can just Coffin Purge the Ephemerate, so it makes probably more sense to Ephemerate the Muldrifter and look for more things to do. We've drawn most of our lands. I will counter the Dread Return. Go to 16. I don't see any more Dread Returns in the graveyard. But we were now Ephemerate the Muldrifter. Find a Snap. I need double counterspell to beat these. So I find a Faithful and a Muldrifter. I meant to put the Faithful on top, but that's okay, I guess. Let's evoke the Muldrifter. So this is going to be 6 cards, I think. This is 2, this is 2, this is 2. Because the snaps can turn into 2 cards here. Snap the Muldrifter, play Faithful. We're going to cycle and grab a land out of the deck still. I'm a little bit confused as to how my lands in deck have been going. Maybe it's not been that great to do this way. Draw 2 with the Muldrifter. Go to 21 and snap the Drifter again. And we find a Loose Focus that we can use to counter our Dread Return homies. Play Sunscape Familiar. Another Muldrifter. It'd be cool to win this game before our opponent times out though. Let's cast Preordain. We're at 27. Another Faithful and a Lorien Revealed. So I'll top both of these. Play the Faithful. Go ahead and play another land. Then I'll attack with the Archaeomancer, putting them to 9, unless they want to block. And the Dominator Cleric. We're at 27. They're going to gain 3 life. Okay. So it looks like this game is going to come down to them timing out. That is relatively sad. Opponent untaps. They're going to probably dredge again. They dredge the Stinkweed Imp. Now they have 14 creature cards in the graveyard. 1, 2, 3 Coffin Purges. Okay, they're going to play the Scrapwork Mutt, dredging the Imp again. Fortunate that we don't have enough mana. I just figured that they would not have enough to actually kill us here. 15 in the graveyard. They have 45 seconds. They Dread Return the Lawless Giant. 17 damage. Plays a Stinkweed Imp. They're going to Dread Return again. It'll lead on a draw 3. I guess they're holding open the Coffin Purges. Let's draw 3 again. Looking for a flicker, I guess. There's the flicker. I'm going to attack with my creatures. Oh yeah, they're the Generous End. Flicker here. Attempt to get back the Ephemerate, and they scoop it up. Oh no, they don't scoop it up. They just ran out of time. But this was the end. We had the Ephemerate and Flicker. They have 2 Coffin Purges that we can counter and then counter. Then we go infinite on the Flicker, and then they lose. So in round 2. Round 2 versus Zero the Cat. Seems like a good hand, I guess. We have an early cantrip and lots of plans for later. And we have the white mana. Sunscape Familiar and Ash Barrens. We can work our way up to the Murmuring Mystic and the Mancer. They play a Sappers and Scary, so that probably means Poison Storm. I want to get my Familiar onto the table. It could also be not Poison Storm, but it looks like poison. I was going to say maybe is like the Turbo Fog poison. They're going to Contentious Plan drawing a card. We find a Loose Focus. I think I have to pass. Fortunately, the plan here is to just counter them out of the game with the Loose Focuses, so we'll see what they play. Nothing so far. Play the island. Let's play this Murmuring Mystic. So now we have a creature, and we can start attacking very soon. Let's see if they have an Augury here, because I can counter the Augury. We're currently poisoned up. There's a land, 3 mana, Infectious Inquiry, okay. So now that we have poison on us, we basically are just trying to focus on making sure that they don't resolve any proliferation. Cast Lotus Petal. Okay, I'm not going to counter that one. This is the turn. Kind of Flicker. Play Archaeomancer, grab the Preordain, and attack you for 1. Cast another Prologue. Go to 4 poison. I really am trying to constrain their mana, but I don't have anything good going on. If I find another familiar, I can go infinite with birds and then attack. Intent Prism. But I want to focus on countering their big draw spells. The draw 3. They cost 5 mana. Vivisurgent's Insight. Cast another Infectious Inquiry and we're at 5. I feel like I'm just hanging out, not actually accomplishing anything. Okay. This might be the moment where we can counter their proliferation and hose them. Passing the turn. I felt like I needed to keep moving there. Let's Preordain. I'm looking for an island. Chancery is fine. I'll pick up this island here. So I can snap the bird and then, or I can snap and replay the Archaeomancer. Right now they're at 13. Took a lot of damage from the Infectious Inquiries and stuff. Plays the Sappers and Scary. Not going to counter the Compulsive Research because it doesn't proliferate and it doesn't help their lands. Right now they have 8 mana. They discarded Moment's Peace. Plays a Lotus Petal. Another Lotus Petal. Looks like they're going to go for a Weather the Storm here. Okay, Thirsting Roots. They're down to 3 cards in hand. Oh, I should have countered that one. I couldn't have countered it though. They have too much mana for my Loose Focuses. I'm going to Flicker, and I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to do it again. I don't think they can kill me at instant speed right now. It's possible, but it's not likely. Now we have a lot of damage. Okay, let's get in. And then snap and replay the Mancer and get a Preordain going. Snap the Mancer, play the Mancer, Preordain. I haven't played a land, I don't think. I did play an island. Counterspell and Luring Reveal. Let's pass the turn. They cast another Prologue. We're at 7 poison. Environmental Augury, so I'm going to go ahead and go nab a bird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 2 cards in hand. One of them is a Weather the Storm, it seems. I'm just trying to see if there's a way that they can, like, get me with the Vivisurgent's Insight here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 mana. We could flicker the Mancer, snap the Mancer, and then tax them 2. I'm going to flicker here, get back to flicker. I'm just building up some birds. Flicker again, and one more time. And then at least they'll have to lose some of their lands by doing this. Back to snap. Snap the Archaeomancer. By snapping the Archaeomancer, then I can play the Flicker. I can get back to Flicker. We're gonna replicate this one time. So let's see how this goes. This is gonna make them have to spend this mana and maybe these mana. Then they'll have 5 mana available. So they decide to sacrifice one of their blue lands. We go to 8 poison. They have 4 cards in hand now. Okay, that's 9 poison, so 1 more poison wins the game. Seems like they don't have it right now. They did have it, they just didn't cast it for some reason. So we're bringing in our Prohibits, the Nature's Chance, Cleric, and all these Faithfuls don't matter whatsoever. Now we're on the play. We can keep this. We have turn 2. We have a familiar lined up, but not turn 2 because the floodplain's tapped. Floodplain, cycle for an island, Preordain, looking for more lands, basically. We have Counterspell open. They play a Peat Bog, cycle for an island, and then Preordain. Find Murmuring Mystic. I feel like you don't want that right now. They play a Lotus Petal, so they're probably going to try to proliferate here. Dead Prism. Cast a Poison spell. Interesting. Right, I can go ahead and play out my familiar. So them playing the Poison spell, now they can't proliferate this turn. I'm going to cycle the Luring Revealed for an island. Guess I can ponder looking for a 1 mana counterspell. I'd rather use the Loose Focus early, and I'm setting up more land drops. If they play like Thirsting Roots here, I'll just straight up counterspell. Play a Lotus Petal, pass the turn. I'll play a land. Guess I can just Archaeomancer back the Luring Revealed. So it's your turn now. They cast an Augury I will go for the counterspell. Cast Experimental Augury, so I'm going to snap my Archaeomancer first. If they want to respond to this, they have to blow their prism. I'm going to lose focus on the Experimental Augury. They have to kill their Peat Bog. They blew the prism for the blue. This is a good situation for me, I think. They're making black mana. They pay. Okay. So the Experimental Augury is going to resolve. And all they're left with is one Hickory Woodlot in play. Is that good enough to win the game? We're at 2 poison. It might be good enough if we take forever to actually accomplish anything. They play a blue land, cycle for an island, and cast a Preordain, looking for more counters. Bottom this, off the ponder, still pondering for more counters. Still no counters. We'll have a Muldrifter next turn. So I guess I'm keeping that. I'll go ahead and attack. 4 mana, 2 of which is blue. We can hardcast a Muldrifter. I'll attack you for 2. Probably should continue cantripping, looking for counter spells. We find Ephemerate, lose focus. This is all good, right? I'll keep these. I'm going to counterspell. Pick your... I'm not countering a prologue, that's for sure. Another prologue, they're just going to waste all their lands. It doesn't matter that they have one poison on us from the prologues, because if we can keep them from having lands whatsoever, then they're not going to kill us. So end step, the only thing they can do to proliferate is cast it with Sapphire's and Scary. So I think I can just end step 4, Ephemerate the Muldrifter. Maybe they have another spell. Okay, we have a loose focus now. Okay, now I have a counterspell, Ephemerate counterspell. Play Familiar, play a land. You're super dead. At this point with all these counters in hand, I might want to just Thirsting Roots, let's just counter that with Replicate. I should have just given them the chance to blow their land on it, and then Ephemerate for it again, but they conceded. Sweet. All right, we know what to do. Let's submit. All right, this hand gives us a path to a turn 3 Familiar. They lead on a swamp. Play the Broker's Hideout for white, and then we'll cycle for the Lorien Revealed, an island, and then we can just ponder. Then turn 3, play the Familiar. We are kind of hoping to have the ability to get an island quickly. I mean, a counterspell up, so that we have another island, and we pass the turn after playing an island. I'll cycle for an island here, play it, and cast Ponder. Let's see what we see. I do find an Ephemerate, so I could set up the counterspell loops. So Archaeomancer, Preordain, and an island. No shuffle. Probably going to prologue. I cycle Lorien Revealed, getting another island. For 3 mana, they cast an Infectious Inquiry, so we're now poisoned. I think I Sunscape Familiar and then play the Mortuary Mire. This way I can play out the Murmuring Mystic and hold up the counterspell then. Plays a land. So the depletions are on the table now. They're going to Inquiry again. Compulsive Research themselves. Looks like they did not draw a land that they wanted to discard, because it's taking them a while to choose here. They discard Compulsive Research and Vivid Surgeon's Insight. Play Lotus Petal. Maybe they're going to use the green mana for... They just want to hold up a Dispel. I'll play my Murmuring Mystic, play an island. I'll pass the turn. Next turn I can play Archaeomancer, getting back Lorien Revealed, then cycle it for an island. And I can start holding up Prohibits. For 2 mana, I think I'm going to counter basically anything here. Definitely going to try to counter a Pentad Prism. They're going to counter with a Dispel. They cast Experimental Augury, we go to 2 poison. Plays a Lotus Petal, passes the turn. I'm going to Archaeomancer, get back the Lorien Revealed, cycle for an island, play the island. Play Preordain, the Lorien Revealed. I was kind of nervous that they would have another counterspell. That's why I didn't go for the Ephemerate there. Plus it wouldn't have given me the ability to Preordain here. So I'm going to Preordain. I'm looking for hard counterspells. I guess these are okay. Let's attack for 2. Our opponent was making some blue mana and then thought better of it on my end step, so we'll see what they're up to. They have 4 cards in hand. We're at 2 poison right now. They're at 16 life. Next turn we can deal them 4 damage. It's going to accrue pretty quickly with the Murmuring Mystic, so we'll see. They have 2 mana. They're untapping. Tapping again. Plays a Contentious Plan. That puts us to 3. So they have plenty of mana in play. We're probably not going to be able to constrain them on mana this time. Just hoping that they don't find a Vivid Surgeon's Insight and actually slam it. Okay, Contentious Plan resolves. Tapping more mana. 4 mana. There's probably going to be an Insight here. That's going to be really bad for me. That's an Infectious Inquiry. They go to 14. We're now at 5 poison. They have 5 cards in hand. The only counter that we have is the Prohibit. As Thirsting Roots, we're at 6 poison. They have 3 cards in hand. I need a hard counterspell. They have 3 cards in hand. Using 2 mana. Oh, they're going to cast an Insight now. Go up to 6 cards in hand. They pass the turn with 5 cards in hand. Going to attack. Lead on Preordain. Find counterspell in an island. Play the Chancery. Picking up the Mortuary Mire because that doesn't really do anything. Trying to add blue to the table. So when they go for the kill, I guess, I have to try to Ephemerate for the Prohibit, and then they Dispel, and then I counterspell. I have to counter anything that gets them more than 1 card, I guess. Let's cast Ephemerate. There's the Dispel. I'm going to counterspell the Inquiry now. So the Dispel is going to resolve on the Ephemerate. Next turn we can cast Archaeomancer and Ephemerate for counterspell. If 3 mana, cast Augury. We're going to go to 8 poison. They should be able to get me here. They're casting another spell, Pentad Prism, 3 cards in hand. Maybe they don't have it. That's a prologue to put me to 9. They only have to resolve 1 more poison spell. It'll be relatively easy for them. Plays a Woodlot, passing the turn. Cast Moment's Peace. We'll cast Archaeomancer. We'll get our Ephemerate. We'll Ephemerate. Get our counterspell. I can't believe we won. We're here in round 3. We have a medium to decent hand. Dawnbringer Cleric on turn 2 if we need. Casanova's probably just playing Affinity, and there's the Affinity land. Springleaf Drum. Ornithopterino. I'm gonna get Broker's Hideout for the plains. And then that way, if they turn to a ninja, I can just Springleaf Drum, Mirrored Forcer. That's mean. Let's ponder. I don't want any of these. I'll cycle for an island. Turn 2 Mirrored Forcer strong. Trying to find some faithfuls here. Second Mirrored Forcer. Ponder. There's the snap. Arcane Answer, Ephemerate, play the Chancery, pick up the land. We'll get rid of the Ash Barrens, I guess. What do you think the odds are that they have the Metallic Rebuke in hand? Probably pretty good, right? So let's play a land, play Dawnbringer Cleric to gain 2 life. They play their Rebuke. Nope, they don't play their Rebuke. All right, let's ponder, looking for a familiar. Gonna shuffle. Preordain, looking for a familiar. We find a Mortuary Mire and a Moldrifter. Guess I can top these, actually. That's the turn. We have the counterspell now. So if they don't have, I guess I'm dead to Glitters. Basically every time I play against the deck. What am I dead to? Glitters right now. Dead to Glitters. I'll take the 10. Plays the Ornithopter. Aha! That's how you're going to deal with the 1 damage, huh? Let's snap this. They just didn't have it. Okay. Game answer. They did have it. Bring in Negate. Put in the counter spells. I'll bring in all my Artifact Hate and can trim on 1 Mancer, 1 Ephemerate. Okay, let's try again. This is a mulligan. This is a mulligan. But we do have Drifter Ephemerate coming up later, right? I think I still have the mulligan. Okay. Keep, put back Dawnbringer, put back the Ephemerate, put back the Ponder, put back the Ponder. Part of the cards. Let's cycle, let's pass the turn. This Drifter Ephemerate can draw me back into the game, and Nature's Chant can kill this land. But now I have to just draw runner lands. I didn't want that before, and I want it now badly. Nature's Chant your land. They play a tap land, get in for 1 damage. Okay, we draw 4 drop. That's not good. Murmuring Mystic looking pretty bad when I mold Oblivion. There's got to be a way for me to play Seagate Oracle. A lot of cantrips. I don't know what to do. Plays a Springleaf Drum. They probably have the counterspell in hand. We can't afford to not start doing things, so I just have to start doing things. The Drifter is going to resolve, so we can play out the Murmuring Mystic next turn if we want, and then Chancery back the Ash Barrens and cycle it. They have a Mirror Enforcer. They did not have Mirror Enforcer or Metallic Rebuke last turn, so maybe they drew the Ornithopter. There's another Mirror Enforcer. If they were just not Metallic Rebuking that, I'd be pretty sad. Let's just find out what happens if I Murmuring Mystic here. Do you have it? Didn't have it. Yes. So we can block 1 of the Enforcers. I feel like the entire game plan around playing against this deck is just waiting for them. You just have to say, I cannot play around anything, and I don't know how to feel about that. I know how to feel. I feel terrible about it is what it is. We're having an island. Pass the turn. Now, hopefully, we can see the awesomeness that is both of these things just slamming triggers. Because if we can get some ponders and stuff, we'll go off. Ponder Preordain. Just triggers all over the place, making birds. Okay, Murmuring Mystic, do your thing. So they're attacking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Feel that I have to Ephemerate and then block, jumping and blocking. Just this gives me a couple more turns if they happen to rip and all that glitters somehow. And Gingerbrute. Okay, they play a Relic, so there goes my Ephemerate. I only had 1 of those. There's a Preordain. We get to make more birds. That's what I was hoping for. Now I'm looking for a Dust to Dust. So I can Dust to Dust a Relic and a Mirror Enforcer. And a Familiar. I can top both, play the land, and just hardcast the Lorien right now. Hopefully they still don't have the Metallic Rebuke. It looks like at this point I want to wait till I have enough birds to quad block the Mirror Enforcer. There's a Dust to Dust. So I take it back. We'll get rid of an Ash Barrens. We'll block, Dust to Dust here. Maybe Dust to Dust the bridge and the Relic. I feel like dusting the Enforcers is important. My opponent plays an Ornithopter. Let's go for Enforcer and Relic. It has to turn aside. Looking for lands, I guess. Finding a land and a Lorien Revealed. I'm still not going to shuffle these Lorien Revealed because I want to cast them. Now I can quad block the Enforcer. It's exile to the Relic. They play a Thoughtcast. We're still at 20. Plays a Gingerbrute. Now the Gingerbrute can one-shot us. TKO. So we have to try to Dust to Dust the Relic and the Gingerbrute. They make the Gingerbrute unblockable. Block here, block here. Reset this one. Block the Mirror Enforcer. Block the Mirror Enforcer. That's 4 on the Enforcer. I feel that it might be better to go Familiar into Godpharaoh's Faithful into Lorien Revealed, just to get maybe another land drop here and gain some life. Looks like they have the counterspell now. So next turn I can Dust to Dust and Lorien Revealed, hopefully. Okay, fine. You have the Relic. Find that people that play Relic just get really aggro on it. They're like, ah! Okay, they crack the Relic. So what do I want to exile with the Dust to Dust then? At least it's going to be the Gingerbrute. Oh, That'll be the relic. Okay, it'll be Gingerbrute and relic. Maybe just a double Gingerbrute. Maybe I just try to force through the relic. Dust to dust these ones. Crack the relic so that dust to dust will remain in our graveyard. And I'm just hoping they don't have another rebuke right now. Making birds though. They don't have it. Yay. The tides have tabled. The tables have turned. Oh yeah, they have a blocker. I guess I'm getting tired here. Make their Gingerbrute unblockable. Plays a land. They're getting in for 1. So now we want to just play the faithful, play the familiar, get 1 bird through. Let's ponder, make another bird. All right, so we find a dust to dust, chancery, ponder. I want the chancery right now. Dust to dust we can have next turn. I just want to make my land drop here. I can get back the land, play the Archaeomancer, grab the Lorin Revealed, just try to like keep getting more cards. More cards, the better. I can snap something even, snap the Archaeomancer. So then I can cast Lorin Revealed again after I recast the Archaeomancer. That sounds good. But right now we're just going to draw some cards. We're at 32. Got a lot of birds. Murmuring Mystic is holding down the fort. This is what I came for. Let's go. They have a Thoughtcast. Draw 2 cards. 4 cards in hand for the opponent. What are you going to do? Plays a land. I think it was the Razorside Bridge. Plays a Springleaf Drum. They're getting in. They're going to use their unblockability in the attack step because they forgot to do it beforehand. But that's okay. We take 1. Play another familiar. An Archaeomancer. Gonna get back the snap here. Snap the Archaeomancer. And then I'm going to just dust to dust their unblockable creature and the Mirror Forcer, I guess. This one and this one. Let's ponder and see if there's anything cool. Just going to keep getting back the Lorin Revealed and drawing cards. We win the game. Would have taken probably the Muldrifter there. Okay, let's try again. Possible that on the draw, the Murmuring Mystic should be a loose focus, but I think we just got to do what we got to do. Lorin Revealed plus Chancery. Bummer. Mulligan. Yeah, I can't keep this one either. We're going down to 5. Opponent mulligan to 6 as well. We're mulliganing. Okay, this is good. I will put back Lorin Revealed. We're gonna bank on the turn 3 Dust to Dust. Plays Relic. Pass the turn. So our turn 2 plan is to get Lorin Revealed for the dual land and play the dual land. And then we're going to try to just cast Dust to Dust. They Thoughtcast. Lorin Revealed is gone forever to this relic here. Grab the Floodplain. Play the Floodplain. That's the turn. So the important thing is to kind of like hope that they don't notice what you're doing. Pretty obvious that I'm trying to set up for Dust to Dust. So here we can get rid of their 2 blue lands. Boo! Set them back multiple turns. They will be able to relic the dust, but that's okay at the moment. Here we will play Faithful Familiar, I think. Let's lean on Ponder. Looking for a land. Okay, so I'm going to put the land on top. Play the Faithful. Play the Familiar. And then I'll pass. Next turn I'm planning on casting the Lorin Revealed to draw 3 cards. Or I could just play the Murmuring Mystic or the Muldrifter. I think I would rather have the 3 cards if I can. They relic away my Ponder. My poor Ponder. Plays a land. Mirror Enforcer. 1 mana available. Second Mirror Enforcer. I think I'm just going to jam this Lorin Revealed and draw some cards here. Lorin Revealed goes bye-bye. Opponent's got 8 power with the Mirror Enforcers. There's a Frogmite. It's in. We're going to block here. Take the 8, unfortunately. A Ninja. So we're taking 6. They get to draw a card, though. But now they have no blue mana available. So we can... there's the blue mana. Plays Mirror Enforcer. We're going to attempt to Nature's Chant the Relic. We crack a clue. So I guess the greedy play for me here is to do anything but play Murmuring Mystic. That's the Murmuring Mystic. We're going to take 5. They didn't have Metallic Rebuke last turn. They must have drawn the Frogmite at one point off one of those 2 draws. All that glitters. We can block here, block here, block here. We're going to flip another Ninja. We take a billion. We do have Preordain. Plays a Thraben Inspector. Let's Preordain first, I guess. Trying to draw into more cantrips and a Chancery. Like the Preordain, find a Familiar. I'm actually going to cycle this at the island and play a Familiar. So next turn, I can go Archaeomancer, get back chant this. Cracks a clue. We're going to be taking 3 damage this turn. Seems like they drew another all that glitters here because they're considering a lot right now. Okay. They appear to be holding open a Metallic Rebuke or something. I just don't understand. Why are they not attacking with everything otherwise? They have Metallic Rebuke in hand. I will attempt to evoke a Muldrifter. Go to 9 life. Find a snap at the Chancery. Attempt to snap on... At least we make a bird that can block. Oh, our birds are holding strong. Ponder again. Looking for a Nature's Chant. Found it. Let's go. Nature's Chant this guy. Okay, no attacks. Opponent is swinging in. Blocks are set up. They lose their Ninja. We still have to deal with the Thraben Inspector here. Plays an Ornithopter. Play a Sunscape Familiar. Play an Archaeomancer. So Snap is basically the same as Nature's Chant. I guess Snap gives them 1 extra card, but I'd rather snap this. Then I can hardcast a Muldrifter. Okay. Looks like they don't have anything right now. We're going to cast a Muldrifter. Got some more blockers. We're turning the tables. Tides. I don't know. So how do we die here? Play the Thraben Inspector. Just going to go Mancer for Lorien revealed. Raven Inspector enters the table again. Crack the clue. They have 3 cards in hand. They cannot play Gingerbrute plus Kill Me with the glitters and unblockable this turn. That's 2 specific cards. They've already used 2 all the glitters. Opponent says 25 cards to Gingerbrute. Well played. Don't know what that means. I don't really understand how you chose this path, opponent. Draw some cards. You can't really be mad about like your shuffler based deck not shuffling well. Let's play Chancery and then Dust to Dust here and here, getting rid of their thing they worked so hard to get. Guess I can attack now. You're at 18. Now we have control of the game. It's turn 10, so it's been a while. They play another Gingerbrute, make it unblockable, winging out. Okay, I'm just double blocking so that it's annoying for them because I feel like just attack with the Gingerbrute, man. I guess they really want to take out the birds though. That's fine. Here's a Faithful. Let's attack. Snap and replay the Moldrifter. I might snap and replay the Archaeomancer just to dust their Mirror Enforcers. Maybe smart. Probably smart. Okay, Moldrifter enters the table. We draw some cards. Find another Murmuring Mystic. Let's snap Archaeomancer. The triggers. Let's go. Archaeomancer. We'll get the dust, dust these things, and they scoop it up. Let's go to round 4. Let's go round 4. Okay, round 4 versus Luffy. Been on Affinity or Mono Red. We can't keep the first no-lander and we can't keep the second no-lander, so let's mulligan again. Okay, this one's fine. We'll put back a Chancery and play a land. So this is kind of like a Mul 2/6, and he's on Mono Red. So I'm glad I have the Faithful. I do like Snap versus Mono Red because it can act as a ritual and give you a little bit of tempo advantage. And here we have a really nice turn 3 setup. Faithful, Preordain, etc. Goes Kuldotha Rebirth. All right, so we can Faithful, snap a token, start on Preordain. I'm kind of looking for the Murmuring Mystic now. Find a Familiar and a Snap. So I think it's probably going to kill the Familiar. I'll play it anyway. Implement of Combustion, another Kuldotha Rebirth. Okay. Got 5 tokens on the battlefield. Did not kill the fam. Well, I'm just not going to block then. Does he end step kill the Familiar? No. Let's Preordain. Trying to find a 5-drop. There we go. Top and top. Let's snap a token, and I can cast my Moldrifter now, leaving up blue, I guess. Preordain, sweet. Okay, Archaeomancer and a Hideout. I think I'm going to bottom the land and take the Mancer. So we're churning away, getting triggers. Our opponent's going to Kuldotha again, and a Bushwhacker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 16 damage. Block, block, block. Find a Lorien Revealed. So I can Archaeomancer, get back the snap a token, play the Dawnbringer and gain 2 life. And pass the turn. He still has 6 tokens. I've got a lot of blockers. Hopefully he doesn't have another Bushwhacker. Lightning Bolt, the 1/3. Gets in for 6. We're going to block one of them. Hopefully we have a living Familiar after this. We're at 15. And the Festivities. So the Familiar's still alive. Let's draw 3 cards. Land. Pass the turn. So we're taking at minimum 3 this turn. Plays Reckless Impulse, finding an End the Festivities. So we can land, then end the Festivities. I mean, doesn't change the blocks. Lots of End the Festivities in the main deck here. I'm kind of surprised to see that. I'm interested to see what his list is. Okay, lead on Ponder. We have the Murmuring Mystic. Counterspell, I can play Mystic into Preordain into Sunscape Familiar. I can Preordain away the counterspell. It has the End the Festivities. So let's just play 2 Sunscape Familiars. Oh, I messed that up. I'm gonna bottom both of these now. All right, pass the turn. So End the Festivities would have wiped the birds. So that doesn't really help me very much, which is why I didn't cast my Murmuring Mystic. We're at 13. Galvanic Blast of Familiar. Plays a land, 2 cards in hand, block and block. Can Familiar, and then into Familiar again, and then into Murmuring Mystic. We'll go to 11. We have enough blockers to block everything now. So he's just relying on actual damage to kill us. And next turn we have Lorien Revealed to draw 3 cards. Okay, block everything. Now one of their creatures dies. I don't think they'll be able to kill the Mystic. Okay, never mind. They Fire Blast the Mystic. Okay, I can Mortuary Mire back the Mystic. Or is the Moldrifter better? Moldrifter's probably better. All right, they just scooped to the Mortuary Mire on the stack. Bring in the Hydros. Then I'm going to cut all the other counter spells. Cut an Archaeomancer and an Ephemerate. So I can bring in Prohibits and a Last Breath. I don't know if I saw anything that needs to be Last Breath. Okay, 6 counter spells, a bunch of interaction. Hopefully that works. This seems good with the Faithful in hand, but the Flicker and the Archaeomancer are kind of slow. Opponent's on the play. Then mulligan to 6. We're keeping 7. Plays a Mountain and a Goblin Tomb Raider. So that is something I would have wanted to hit with the Last Breath. All Broker's Hideout for the Plains going to 21. They probably have an artifact here. If I had to guess, I'd say Synthesizer. Plays Voldaren Epicure. They get in for 2. Hydroblast. So I can Faithful. And I guess just Hydro. I'm not going to block because I want to keep this Faithful alive and I can keep chaining all my cantrips. I don't really want to just have it die to a... You gain 4 life right now, or I can gain way more life over the course of the game is my thought. I'm going to lead on Preordain. 2 Familiars. So let's get the Familiars. Now I can just throw the Familiars in front of the Epicure. And I actually... Do I have infinite life next turn? Almost. Chain Lightning on the Familiar. Okay, this time I'm blocking. I don't feel like you drew a land. Familiar again. I'm gonna lightning bolt the familiar. I will snap the familiar. I want that thing alive. Maybe that was wrong as well. I wonder if he's playing Pyroblast. And Learn Revealed. That's solid. I Sunscape Familiar into Arcanemancer. The Arcanemancer, if it resolves, will return the Hydroblast. Does resolve. Get the Hydroblast. And we win. Boro. Okay, for the trophy. We're versus John Tom Jova, last seen on Familiars. Let's keep this. We have a cantrip. They play plains into a Sacred Cat, so that would be probably Gates. I'll lead on the Floodplain. Plays a second plains and a Sacred Hawk, or Squadron Hawk, not Sacred Hawk. Does that mean this is White Weenie? And if it is White Weenie, am I afraid of a Journey to Nowhere? I'm not afraid of a Journey to Nowhere. I'm just going to play out my Familiar. Land, play the fam. Okay, it's actually Gates. Plays another Squadron Hawk. They just don't need blue mana. Plays a Thraben Inspector. So we can snap a Hawk. They're getting in, we're blocking. We can snap a Hawk and then draw 3 cards. Pick up this, snap a Hawk. We have 4 mana. Guess that's probably worth it right now. Draw 3 cards, discarding a plains. Next turn we have Drifter, Flicker, Drifter. Okay, they can make their cat a 3/3. They're gonna play, okay, Battle Screech. Ooh, interesting. It's like White Weenie Gates. Battle Screech again. This is pretty sweet. Let's evoke this Drifter. Uh-oh, I ordered it wrong. We're gonna flicker the island. Find a counter spell. Let's ponder. I'm gonna shuffle this. I'm looking for snaps now. Get rid of this island. Oh, and a double counter spell in hand. Next turn we go Familiar, Preordain. I'm trying not to die to a rally effect here. Citadel Gate on red. So this is Boros Gates. It's like White Weenie Boros. It's a lot of damage right now for sure. Okay, they gate the cat and get in for 1,000 million. Adjust the cat for 4. As if that's not bad enough, honestly. Plays another Sacred Cat. Find a Faithful. So I can Faithful, and that's useful. So we can Preordain now, or just cast the Familiar, but I think I need to Preordain. Chancery Island, I'm going to bottom both of these. So this next turn I think I probably have to just cycle one of the Lorien Revealeds for an island, so I can go Familiar and cast counter, or Lorien Revealed, but I also have the counterspell that I need to cast. I'm really afraid of a pump effect, the Basilisk Gate. I don't know if I should block. I'm not going to block this time. I'm afraid. Need a snap, Squadron Hawk. I'll just countering anything at this point, basically. Let's cycle for an island. Cast the Lorien Revealed, holding up Counterspell. Find a loose focus and a Lorien Revealed. At least this next turn we can go Sunscape Familiar plus Lorien Revealed, hold up Counterspell again. They have one more land, they can pump a bunch of things at once. They're going to pump the cat again. I feel that I have to block this time. Alright, we're going to block the Thraben Inspector. No, not the Thraben Inspector. This Hawk here, because these ones I can snap and get them off the table. That's 8 damage. We go to 4. That's a Dawnbringer Cleric. I can counter that. I don't know, like... Maybe they could have exiled the Flicker. Let's cycle this, grabbing an island. A Familiar, draw 3 cards. We're at 6 life. Now I can go Drifter, Snap, Drifter, plus Drifter, but then I lose to... Let's just pass the turn and see what happens. I don't want to lose to a pump spell. They gate the cat again. They have 2 mana. All right, I'll block here and block and block. I'll take 4 and go to 2. I guess now I have to hold up Counterspell for a Lightning Bolt, but they're using their mana, just counter here, but that does put me out of having the ability to respond, so maybe that wasn't a good idea. Play the Chancery, pick up the island, snap this off the table forever. I'll cast a Muldrifter. I'm looking for spells and Murmuring Mystics. Draw some cards. Play a Familiar. I think I'm going to Drifter, Snap Drifter this time to get 4 cards. Snap the Drifter. We have the Flicker in the graveyard, so like we can just cast Muldrifter, cast Arcanemancer, get the snap another bird, untap our lands, play the Cleric, and then go ahead and Arcanemancer back to Flicker. I'm going to Flicker for life for a little bit and go up to like 25. And then once I'm at 25 life, I'll just Flicker Arcanemancer and Arcanemancer to get snap and Flicker. All right, now I'm at 24, so I'm just gonna Flicker. Let's cycle, grabbing an island. I think I'm just gonna actually just get more cards in hand. I have all lands in hand. Let's just get some more cards. We'll discard this Ash Barrens. Okay, our opponent's attacking for a lot. They had cracked a clue. So let's just block some stuff. I guess I'll block here. I'm a little nervous that they have a pump spell, obviously. I've said that 60 times. There's the Rally of the Peasants that I knew about. I was thinking about anyway. Okay, my turn. Play Mortuary Mire on Muldrifter. We're going to play Sunscape Familiar, Preordain. I'm going to bottom the Ponder, hardcast a Muldrifter. Then we'll Flicker here, get back the snaps, and snap all their creatures so they can't attack for a turn. I'm flickering again for the snap, and I'll Flicker to get another snap in hand to make it easier to cast the things. Where's the snap? There we go. Nap this one. Nap this one. 3 blue mana. We'll flicker for the Mole Drifter on top. Then draw it using the flicker on the other Mole Drifter. And then drew the Mole Drifter. I can cast the Mole Drifter. I'm at 30 life. Looking for that Murmuring Mystic now. Let's start preordaining. Arcane Mancer and Mole Drifter. Okay, your turn, opponent. At this point, I should probably discard I should probably get rid of the Godforest Faithful because our opponent is letting me use all my clock that they can for bonus value, and I definitely don't want to be guarding the Guild Pact. Okay, we do have Counterspell for the Soul Warden. Arcane Mancer, get back the Snap the Soul Warden. I think they're on the they said they're on a brew. They're on the Timeout Fams brew. Snap this one. We no longer need. I'll cast a Mole Drifter. Let's ephemerate a Mole Drifter. Preordain. I swear there are mystics in my deck. Put the mystic on top. Let's flicker here. And then I'm going to snap this Mole Drifter and replay it. And then I'm planning on just counterspelling their creature so that I don't have to worry about that life gain nonsense. Ephemerate here. Counterspell. We are really far behind on clock. Unfortunate. Send and send. We'll discard the Faithfuls. I'm also overseas right now, so it's like the lag. Faithless Looting. Okay, so that's what red is for. Discard Strands. We're going to counter the Soul Warden. All right, do you have another one? Sacred Cat creates a Sacred Cat. So as long as we have 12 minutes and 30 seconds on clock at the end, then we're good, but I feel like it's going to be way too sketch. Going to Ephemerate. They're going to flash back the Prismatic Strands, which I'm okay with right now. It barely wastes any time. Waste time, but not too much time. Get back my Ephemerate. Ephemerate again. We have 5 cards left in the deck. Back my other Ephemerate. Cast a Mole Drifter. Get another Murmuring Mystic. Put the Faithful back on top. The clock. Let's do the Faithful thing again. And then I'm going to flicker the Dawnbringer Cleric and the Arcane Mancer to get rid of the Prismatic Strands. So right now, how much power do we have? And we can discard Godforest Faithful to hand size. We have 1, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Play a Squadron Hawk. Okay. I'm going to have to restart Magic Online between games. Sacred Cat's fine. No attacks. Let's flicker here. Put the Faithful back on top. I'm going to flicker one more time. And then I want to flicker for Counterspell. Clock is dwindling. At the end of the game here with the multiple triggers, it's definitely risky to use Ephemerates because Ephemerates trigger a bunch on the upkeep. So I usually don't I usually do not cast Ephemerates at the end of the game here. The island. Then we're going to right click attack all. I have the strands, we have the counterspell. So now they're going to flash back the strands. We're going to use the loose focus this time. Now what they're going to do is they're going to gate up their Sacred Cat so that it costs me time to block it because it'll be a bunch more extra damage. I need to auto yield to that. So unfortunately for them, they've made a not great decision where they're only gating up 1 Sacred Cat. So that means I can easily just block with just 1 Arcane Mancer and then ephemerate it for counterspell. Then I'm going to go my turn, yield until here. They have no Sacred Cats. We're going to say no, and we're going to just attack everything. So that took us a long time because they were trying to out life gain, but it's fine. I think we can win a little bit faster post board. It's scary to see the Soul Sifters there. All right, so let's see. Magic Online's not even chugging that hard. I'll try restarting it anyway. Okay, so loose focus looks pretty poor. I do like prohibits, maybe the exclude. That could probably be enough to get them. Maybe 1 negate. Otherwise, I mean, maybe Nature's Chant for Relic. Dawnbringer Cleric's kind of medium. Submit it that way. And we have to win really fast. Is this fast enough? I'll keep it. We have exclude for the Guardian. Okay, there's a land, or ponder. Okay. I think I'll keep these cards. They play a land, play a Squadron Hawk. Maybe I shouldn't have played the Floodplain. I think I have to go for Familiar here. Hope they don't kill it. 2 mana from the opponent. I mean, we know we're playing to a crazy time. Okay, Journey to Nowhere. See if they play a land drop. They make a land drop. Ponder is gone. Get in for 1. Island, pass the turn. So now I'm holding exclude to see if they have the Guardian in hand. Plays a red land, gates up their creature. I'm going to grab an island, taking 4, and they relic the Ash Barrens. We have another familiar. Familiar, land. I think I'll just exclude anything at this point, even if they don't play the Guardian right now. Get some value. And then I can preordain, Arcane Mancer back to preordain. I need to find the Squadron Hawk really fast. Okay, they have another journey. So we need to keep the Dawnbringer Clerics in. And if I can't get to a commanding position by 8 minutes, I need to quit. Go to the next game. I'll preordain now. A Mole Drifter I think is good. I can play the Chancery. That's the turn. Pick up the island. Okay, they're going for the Guardian. Oh, Battle Screech. I think I probably should scoop. Get in for 1. Play the Muldrifter. Draw 2 cards. Play the Floodplain. They're getting in with everything. I'm blocking, and I'm dead to a rally. Bring in second chant. Put the exclude completely. So just negate, lose focus. Or prohibit, lose focus. On the play, I'll keep this hand. It does stuff. Play the Floodplain and pass the turn. Our opponent mulligans to 5. I'm on hyperspeed mode. I'm clicking like crazy. Gotta save those microseconds. As soon as it passes to me, I'm gonna click the floodplain. It'll go on the battlefield and it'll be their turn. So that took me 1 second. Next turn, I'm gonna play Ponder. Just jam the familiar onto the battlefield. I'm gonna Ponder into cycle the Ash Barrens plus the Chancery. Seems like they mulligan to the Relic. I'm looking for birds. First Faithful Preordain. I'll take that. Then Chancery back the plains. We're gonna cycle for an island. Play the island. Maybe just they crack the clue. Let's see if they get in for time. Plays a red land, Citadel Gates. Let's cycle this for an island, then go Faithful into Preordain. Lose focus and Preordain. Okay, let's top both of these. Play out the island so I can get a Guardian if I need to. I'll probably just go land Lorien Revealed. They Basilisk Gate their creature. That's a 4 damage creature. And Lorien Revealed. We're going to go to 18. We have Loose Focus for a possible counterspell. They don't have a counterspell now, though. It looks like I'm going to go tap the Chancery and the Plains for the familiar, play Ponder. They're going to gate their thing and attack for 5. They're thinking it through. They gate the thing. It's in for 5. Plays a Lunarch Veteran. That's fine. Life gain stuff. Familiar. Find a Muldrifter, so I don't have to do anything. Just going to Drifter, Snap Drifter here. Evoke the Muldrifter. Play the Faithful. Evoke the Muldrifter again. And we'll snap it again. Then we can cast it. 7:39 on clock. Cast the Muldrifter. Now I really need to find a Murmuring Mystic. Okay, I find a Prohibit. Let's get rid of the Plains. I have Prohibit and Lose Focus. Right now they don't have anything that has life gain, so I'm not overly concerned. Right now it's a 10 turn clock. And next turn it'll be play a Plains. They gate up their creature, and I'm going to finally yield to that so I don't have to keep clicking. We'll take the 5 damage. The beats don't really matter right now because we have lots of ways to get through it. There's the Murmuring Mystic. So the triggers galore will start happening. Do they have a Pyroblast? Looks like yes. We're going to counter. Okay, nothing from them after that. Let's play, even though that doesn't trigger the Murmuring Mystic, it adds more to the table. And we have 7 land drops in play, so we're good. We don't have to make a land drop. Gonna pass. They gate up their creature. Sure, take 5. They complained about mulliganing a little, but they're happy that their brew is working, so I'm happy for them. And my turn. Let's Ponder. We gotta watch that clock. Another Murmuring Mystic and a Prohibit. I'm not gonna shuffle past the Murmuring Mystic. I'm going to Ponder into the Prohibit, making so many triggers. Plenty of time now. Okay, there's the Prohibit. No shuffle. We'll cycle for an island and Preordain. Way more birds. Okay. I feel like it's locked up now. Flicker. And an island, and I will get in. So we had plenty of time. But it gives us the GGs. They scooped it up. We got the 5-0. Murmuring Mystic, I guess, is strong. Familiars is strong. I don't really know. I really enjoy doing all the cantripping and everything. So I feel like it just works out for me. I did think that it was sometimes sketchy not having enough to do, but like if you have enough early stuff and then big end game, it seems to work out. Counterspell speed's kind of weird, but hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video.